the idea here is not to steer people away from the old stuff forever, but to get them started in a way that gives them something fun to drive, that stands out, that does what an old car would do without making them pay the price.
Welcome to the Autoshift, everyone.
We've got a good topic today. Let me give you the story. A couple days ago, my wife comes to me and says, hey, I've got a friend who's got a young kid. He's like 16, 17 years old, and he really wants to get his first car. The thing is, he wants to get a classic car, something old. In fact, his dream car is a 66 or 67 Impala, Chevrolet Impala.
What a good guy.
I know. It's not like we both don't have those cars.
Yeah.
But the family's trying to figure out what they want to do. And Christina's like, my wife is like, you should really talk to my husband because he's been in the car world for a long time and he probably has some opinions. And I most certainly do. The question then became, what do you tell a kid who's 16, 17 years old who desperately wants to get a classic car, knowing what we know about the classic car world and the classic car experience, and knowing what we know about being 16 or 17 years old and where you're at in life at that point and how you navigate that while making the experience a good one. And that's what got me thinking, okay, well, what do you tell this kid? And he's like any other kid out there in the world who's got this same thought, this same question. How do you get involved and have the right expectation and have the right outcome?
Well, you dive right in.
That's definitely one way to look at it. So today we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about first-time car buyers, first-time classic car enthusiasts, and giving them the right advice to make sure that they make a good decision.
On the way to collector.
On the way to collector. I like that.
And this goes away from just being, fresh driver's license, new teenager age, new driver age, to, again, in your 20s, 30s, you want to try a little more of a collector car.
Or your 40s, 50s, or 60s.
Anytime,
Anybody who's not come up in it or doesn't have the background in it already, or is just looking to expand into something new and different. How do you make that experience a good one? Because there are a lot of ways, as we all know, that you can make a bad decision here and have a terrible outcome and never want to touch a classic car again.
Oh, yeah. No, some things you can, things can go so wrong, you sell the car and you never do anything again along those lines.
That's not the outcome, not the goal.
No. We're going to try and help you think about the right things, make the right decisions based on what you want them to be. And well, where do you start? Like, what you're having the conversation with this guy. What's the first thing out of your mouth that you're going to mention?
The first thing I do in a situation like this, or will do, because I haven't had this conversation with this guy yet. That's still going to happen. I would start asking questions because I want to know exactly what this kid's motivations are. Is it the body style you're after? Is it the sound you're after? Is it something that you saw on TV or in a movie or something that you thought was cool that you want to recreate in your own life? And you kind of go from there. But for me, there are three pillars that I think need to be covered when it comes to any kind of car you're talking about here for a young person or anybody who's new into this hobby. And that's the first one is cost of entry. What's it going to cost you to buy this car? Flat out, just own it. The second is something I call hassle factor, which is how much of a pain in the ass is this car going to be, and what is that going to do to the overall experience? And then the last part, which is what everybody thinks about, it's really the only thing people think about, is cool factor, right? You don't think about the cost of entry so much or the hassle factor. You're just dreaming about what's cool and why you want to own it.
Right.
So you want, ideally, to have whatever you pick have the low cost of entry, the really low hassle factor, and the high cool factor. The problem is that's what everybody's looking for.
Oh, yeah. It's almost the time, speed, quality thing. Pick 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get all of them.
Right. Almost exactly. Yeah.
The first question is absolutely, and that's the biggest question, why?
Why, yeah.
Why do you want this car? What is this for? What is the next one? But why the hell are you doing this?
Yeah.
Is it because you saw it in the movie and you want to do the burnout too? Fair. I mean, I'm not just know why you want to do this And the less it is based on other people, the more stick-with-itness I think you will have.
And you need that because this is going to be, I don't want to call it an ordeal, but it's going to be a journey
Yeah.
depending on what you buy. And that's the why of it is, for me, that's how you can figure out whether or not you can steer this person into something that is going to inevitably be a better experience out of the gate versus something that they are dead set on having. So I should preface this by saying my first car was a 66 Caprice. I still have that car. When I bought that car in 1999, it was 33 years old. If you were to buy a car that's 33 years old today, you're shopping for 1992. So that's how much the world has changed. And I now feel really old saying that, but that's how much the world has changed. So
I just realized OBD2 is 30 years old.
yeah, wow. Welcome to the future.
Wow. That was the line for me. That was like demarcation line of as far as like what I was looking for in a daily car. Like I have no interest in something I can't plug an OBD2 scanner into.
OBD1 was just the Wild West.
It was.
Man. Everything was different.
No, everybody was different on all of them.
You remember Ford had a system in their early Rangers where you had to get the thing up off the ground. It was on a lift, and you had to plug in some diagnostic port, and there was something about turning the wheel all the way to one side or the other to get it to go into learning mode or diagnostic mode or something, and it would rev at a different rate. It would be like a higher RPM at idle or something while it was doing it.
Yeah, let you know.
Yeah. Jeep was weird too. Honda was weird. You had to jump a terminal, and it would blink lights on the dash. You'd have to count them and write them down.
That was the one. I was trying to think, who had the blinky lights?
Yeah.
Honda. Okay.
Yeah, Honda did.
Okay. That's what I worked on. Oh, God.
I still like at the dealership. At the dealership now, you got like all the new Ferrari scan tools and stuff. But I like when something older rolls in. This is still OBD2, but early, like late 90s, like a 550, 575. And our master tech will open the big cabinet and launch the Windows 1998 tower. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know where we're going today.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's let that start up for 5 minutes and see what happens. And
So let's start by talking about that Impala that this kid wants.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it would have been 33 years old when I got mine, and now it's an awful lot older. And you can imagine what has happened in the years since that car went from 1999 until now. Cost of entry has not come down. In fact, it's gone up. Your average price for 65 to 70 Impalas is right around $37,000 right now. Yeah. So that's pretty out of reach for most of your first-time buyer, assuming that they're younger.
Nearly every teenager, that's going to be out of reach.
So cost of entry, you're already on the wrong side of the ledger. Hassle factor, I think we can all agree, is unless you're buying something that was a little old lady's car, which, let's be honest, they're all gone now. Somebody has already purchased all those cars out of the carports and garages. I mean, I can remember finding those, but that was in 99, 2000.
All of those little old ladies are dead.
And the cars have gone on to their kids or they've sold to other people or whatever. So you're not going to find one of those. No. But the hassle factor is going to be also on the wrong side because you're not going to find one that hasn't been messed with. And if you do find one that hasn't been messed with, it needs to be messed with. Yeah. And by that, I mean it's going to have rust issues. It's going to have problems with the mechanicals, probably, unless it's super low mileage. But again, you find one super low mileage, your cost of entry is up high. So you're not going to find a cheap one. You're not going to find a hassle-free one. You're not, generally. Cool factors there, though.
Sure.
Oh, very much there.
I think you guys were the prime kind of, if anyone was going to do it at 16, 17 years old, it was, you guys are the prime like prototype of that.
Yeah.
You guys like to tinker on cars. You're very much mechanically inclined. I know what I'm doing. I don't want to do it. But you guys would do it. But even with that, like there's plenty of times, I'm sure, where your car was in the garage for a few extra days because it was down. You had something torn apart, you're waiting on this, you're waiting on that. And that's part of the hassle factor that regardless of how tech savvy you are, that's always going to be there.
A part's weight is a part's weight.
Yeah. Let me spell this
and those
out.
haven't gotten easier to get either.
So when I bought my 66 in 99, 98, 99, whenever it was, I paid $1,900 for it. Or I should say my dad paid $1,900 for it. And we barely got it home. The rear end was howling so bad that we were afraid it was going to lock up on us. And so the very first thing we did was bring it home. When we got it home, jack it up in the air and rip the rear apart. So took the cover off, took the housing all apart, took all the gears out, carrier, all of it.
Was it just?
It had one wheel. It was a 12 bolt, had one wheel drive, and somebody had been doing crazy burnouts with it, and they had toasted one of the axles somehow. So it was. I think it was the outer axle bearing on the passenger side was bad.
Okay.
And everything else was ancient, so it just needed to be fixed. But that was the first step in a 2-year process. I did not drive that car until I was 17. Okay. So
all right.
that was every evening, every weekend working on it to get it to the point where I could drive it. That was years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be easier. So if you're a kid or a young person or a new person into the car world who hasn't had experience wrenching on stuff, doesn't have the room to wrench on stuff, doesn't have the tools to wrench on stuff already, it's not going to be a good experience. You're not going to just jump in that car and drive it someplace. Having said that, you might be able to find a wagon, 4-door post, sedan. Mm-hmm. When you do that, the cool factor comes down.
Way down.
So, again, you're on the wrong side of the whole equation by doing this.
Also, something to take into account, cost of entry is one thing. Mm-hmm. To go with the hassle factor, there is a cost associated with that as well.
Yeah.
The repairs. How big of a repair is it? Can you throw a distributor cap at it, or do you need like significant rust repair, new body panels, things like that? So something else to take into account after that initial purchase price.
Yeah, and one of the things we used to talk about back in the magazine days was, you can buy the car, but that's just the first check you're going to write. Mm-hmm. Because everything else that happens after that is going to be just as expensive, and it's going to continually take money out of your pocket. And if you don't have a lot of money to put into the car, your entire life is going to be building that car. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. No. I love building stuff, having old cars, living the car life and all that. Great.
But
be prepared.
Can you really do that when you're 16 years old? And so without the infrastructure in place, and when I say infrastructure, I mean knowledge, tools, and space, this is going to be a hard thing to do. So what I went ahead and did was I went through and I picked a list of other cars that I thought were interesting that we could maybe apply the cost of entry, hassle factor, cool factor to, and see what we could come up with in terms of what might be a better choice than this 65 to 70 Impala, which is granted a cool car.
Very cool.
But I think it's too expensive. The first one on my list, considering that the Impala's average price is about $37,000, $38,000, 1967 to 68 Mustang hardtop.
Okay.
There's a lot of them out there, at least there were. The hardtops are not the ones that people go for. Everybody wants a fastback. They want to, be Steve McQueen or whatever. Average price on those cars is $23,007.
That's a lot cheaper.
That's a lot cheaper. It's still a little bit out of reach, potentially, but you still have the old car feeling.
Yep.
There's a lot of Mustangs out there, and parts for Mustangs are not that expensive, generally speaking. And there's a lot of you can get a lot of parts for Mustangs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, many companies are Mustang only suppliers.
Yeah. Hassle factor is still going to be relatively high because it's still old, right?
Yeah.
You're still dealing with the age of things. And it's not just the mechanicals, it's wiring. I mean,
bushings.
Yeah. Weather stripping.
Yeah.
So
every rubber piece.
Yeah.
All of them go bad.
So you're still gonna have work to do. Mm-hmm. And again, if you have more money on hand to begin with, you will have less work to do right away. But you're always going to have to do stuff to it because it's old. But cool factor's there. Now there's another side to this too. We at one point worked at a magazine that had a '66 Mustang.
Yep. A
really nice car. It was 54,000 mile original car. It had been hit at one point, which we found out later. But it was really nice. And I remember talking to the guy that sold us the car, and he said that part of the reason he was selling it was because he hated going to car shows and having nobody look at it. And nobody looked at it because it was one of like 60 that were there. There is something to be said for having something that's unique.
Yeah. Little, white Mustang.
Yeah.
It's cute. It was fun. I like that car a lot.
So,
but cool. at the car show, you're just in the line.
It's more of a filler car.
Yeah.
At a car show, unfortunately.
But, at the parking lot at the high school, it might be a different story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely will be a different story.
It's likely to be the only one there.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But part of that realization, though, is the where.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going to be using this? Not just where are you going to be storing it, where are you going to be working on it. Where is a huge part of the question.
Yeah.
Where are you taking this?
And even if it is in fantastic shape and it doesn't need anything,
It should not be in a high school parking lot then.
it's got everything done to it that needs to be done. It's not going to stop as well as a more modern car. It's not going to be as fast as a more modern car. It's not going to handle like a more modern car. And because of it's not going to have air conditioning, probably. It's going to be relatively challenging to use on a daily basis unless you're committed to using it.
Yes, that is one thing it would absolutely take.
Car people are used to that. My 66, a good example of this, my 66 that I've had forever, does not have a tilt column or a telescopic column. And somebody one time asked me about that. Are you going to put that in there? And I said, no. You just move to suit the car. And it struck me as the stupidest question I'd ever heard because that's what you do. And then it dawned on me that most people don't think like that. They want to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Steering wheel comes to me.
Yeah.
No, I got my old car. I moved the whole bench seat up to it.
You have to understand, my car is a triple black, big block car with headers on it. And I used to go drag racing on Wednesday nights at PIR, which required me to drive on the freeway in rush hour up through a busy part of town. And the car would get hotter and hotter and hotter as I was going because the races were only, in the summertime or the spring when the weather was nice. And I got to the point where, because the car had a 3-row radiator in it and not a very good cooling fan, there was no real good way to keep the air moving through the radiator to keep it cool. So I would turn the defroster on. So I'd have all 4 windows down, and I'd have the defroster on full bore. It'd be a 90-degree day, and I'm sitting in traffic on the freeway, losing weight, That's just what you did.
Yeah.
And I'm sure...
Welcome to car life.
I'm sure there are people that are willing to do that. They're going to bend, they're going to suffer for the art, but it's something that I think a lot of people probably haven't thought of, and this is pertinent here because old cars can be work. You can get around it, you can fix them, you can do things to them to make them handle better and stop better and all that. That's what resto mods are all about.
Yeah.
It's money out of your pocket though. If you're dead set on doing this, you're going to, I think, have more drive to want to deal with these things and live with them the way they are. Something that you need to consider too with old cars, water. When water gets inside your old car, that's a real problem, and that's something that you're going to have happen if you've got an old car and you park it outside, especially in a rainy place like Oregon. You're going to have problems with water getting in. And what happens when you're driving your car in the wintertime and or even in the fall and it's got water inside? Everything fogs up, right? And did the defroster work that well? No. So you can't see.
Got the towel from behind you.
And I remember when I was driving my 66 in high school, and that was right when they came out with, what was that stuff? It was like Rain-X towelettes that you could wipe on your glass.
Yeah,
and it would keep the moisture from sticking to it so you could see. Yeah. Considerations, right? Things to think about. All right, but Impala maybe doesn't work so well. Mustang, okay, maybe that's too old. How about a Mustang GT, 1999 to 2004? Cost of entry on that, $13,500. That's an average price right there. And a Mustang GT from that era, pretty great.
Yeah, 280 horsepower-ish.
Rear-wheel drive, you can get a manual.
They sound
V8.
great.
Yeah.
OBD2.
And at this point, they're old enough that you don't see them everywhere.
You are approaching that sort of same time gap. 20, 30 years on.
Right.
This is what this is what those cars were from that time. And you're still hitting the same structure, still hitting the same platform.
Right. I mean, you want to make big power, you can do whatever you want. And this is a starting point to get there. And it's a starting point that's new enough. Your parents are going to be happy because it's got ABS, airbags, modern-ish safety equipment.
Yep.
Right?
Seatbelt light.
Right. But also, it's new enough that parts are going to be easier to get. I mean, you can go to any Napa or Ford dealer and get pretty much anything you need for that car.
Yeah.
Assuming it needs anything, because it may not. So the key for that is to find one that's low mileage, it hasn't already been messed around with. But again, I mean, there should be a number of them out there that are like that. And you're not going to have to, go get extra loans from everybody you know in order to afford buying it.
You're not going to need to tinker with it.
No, should be good to go.
Weekend or
should
every
be good
night.
to go.
Unless you want to.
Unless you want to. Yeah, of course.
So, yeah. So maybe you're not a Ford person. Well, what I really want is a first-gen Camaro. Yeah, good luck. You know what the entry price to a first-gen Camaro on average is right now?
60.
This includes all the high-end stuff, right? So the
Okay.
Copos and the SS396s and all that.
That was the first number that popped into my head.
Yeah.
The average price is $76,000.
76.
Now, you can blame the Copos and the rare
the
ZL1s
average,
and stuff
but-
like that for
but-
skewing the numbers.
But still, that's the range we're talking.
You're not going to get a decent enough daily driver style first-gen Camaro for under 35 that doesn't need a bunch of stuff.
No, honestly, I think something where you're not going to need to worry about too much. I mean, you're looking near 50.
Yeah. But again, weather stripping, you're not going to want to leave it sit out in the rain, and issues are going to pop up.
Oh, yeah.
So instead, how about a 93 to 02 Catfish Camaro? That's a fourth gen.
Yeah.
I had one of these. I had a 2001 Camaro SS. It was a LS1 T56 6-speed. It was a great car. I love that car. It's fast, sounded good, had
That
T-tops.
sounds so good.
Entry price on those, $14,376.
That is eminently reasonable for 300 horsepower
Yeah. And
plus.
325 for the SS.
Yeah.
And,
They don't make anything that looks like that anymore.
No, they stand out.
Yeah.
The fourth gen Camaros really look different.
My mom had an early one, the one you guys don't like with the setback in headlights. It was
Yeah.
a
With the real
95.
squinty
Yeah,
look.
90. It was a 95, and my dad wouldn't let her get the V8 version, so she had the V6.
my friend Paul Duchesne used to say that you could pass your own headlights with those cars. Like at night, you would pass the beams.
I believe that. Easy. Yeah.
But
The upgrade was a good one.
that is a great platform. And there's a lot of them out there.
Many.
And they're not, assuming you can get one away from, the sideshow group that's out there doing cookies in the middle of, or donuts in the middle of intersections. They're not that expensive and they're relatively easy to get.
And
So
there is a group out there of people that have stashed some of those away, bought them new or in kind of a Sunday driver.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So, there's potential to find a nice one.
Get you a pace car.
Okay.
No?
If you want,
No, I think
Pay extra for stickers.
the sweet spot on that is an SS car because they have a different hood and a different spoiler, a little bit more power, a couple other options you can get with those.
Okay.
They were made by a company called SLP. They have different options. They look cool, and they're not that hard to find, generally speaking. Especially for under 20. So let's say that's not old enough for you. You could get an IROC Z, and that would be 85 to 90.
I say they just were celebrating the 40th anniversary at Carlisle's GM Nationals.
And see, here's the problem with those cars. They're coming up.
Yeah.
Average price right now is $25,900 for one of those.
I think the window has been missed on it.
It's closing. if
or-
it hasn't
or-
already closed.
Yeah. They're getting pricey.
Yeah.
They're getting pricey.
And again, now you're getting into cars that are old enough that things are going to start needing to be fixed. Things are going to happen that you're not going to have to deal with, say, on a 99 Mustang or a 2000 Mustang or a 2002 Camaro SS.
Yeah. Well, attrition's a real thing. Some of these cars, they will get chopped up and made into parts for other ones to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the way it works.
it is.
let's be honest, that era too. That's not like it was peak build quality or
No.
anything.
No.
we're not.
No.
We're not.
You're
going
gonna
to
need those
top
parts.
tier. Yeah. Yeah.
My SS had, I would say the interior panels were roughly the right shape to fit together. Roughly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in the spot.
They were plastic.
Yeah.
You knew they were plastic.
Oh, yeah.
But, it had a Hurst shifter in it from the factory, and it was nice. I like that. So you just didn't touch the plastic. You just touched the shifter. Good to go. And it had T-tops. So,
Yeah.
tint the windows, good to go.
T-tops were cool.
How about a Civic Si? 99 to 2000?
I still like those.
I do too.
Oh yeah. No, this is. I'm just Fast and the Furious is just what screams to me when it comes to those ones.
But the hassle factor is low
So low
because
Oh,
Hondas
so low.
don't die.
So
Even with the amount of tinkering, some of the real crazy guys did. And I was at Wyotech, and we had a lot of those cars in the parking lot.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Because I was in Wyotech in 05. So this was just Fast and Furious came out 4 years earlier. Oh my God.
I think any Honda or Acura from the tuner era, and I would say tuner era is around Y2K, a little bit before, a little bit after, is a great place to start. if you're into front wheel drive performance, there's a huge aftermarket that is still around for those cars, and honestly is coming back.
Well, they were cool then, and they had their fade out, and now it's retro.
Come back around.
Yeah.
Starting because 90s are everywhere. 80s are done. 90s are back.
A quick caveat.
This is just a cycle.
Early this year, I leased a little electric car. While I was going around kind of test driving different things, on a Honda dealership lot, they took a trade-in. It was like a nice, I think it was like a 2001 Civic Si hatch, and that awful gold color, which for me was great. Low mileage. It was a really nice car. That's the only reason they took it in. I was so tempted to go off the lot with that car.
I'm so sad you didn't.
I know,
Me
but
too.
I was trying to get away from gas station. It wasn't that great a mileage compared to my ugly Insight that I used to own. So I walked away. It was still I think it was like $8,500 or something. It was a little bit of money, but I expect that from my dealership, and it was a nice car. But man, even for me, was it tempting. And I'm not even a Honda guy. So
Cool factor is there for those cars.
Yeah.
So
I
you've
like
got
patches a lot.
the cost of entry, at least with the Civic Si. A Civic Si from 99 to 2000, your average price of entry right now is $20,900. So it's coming up,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to be, that's a snapshot, I think, of that whole situation. I think it's going to happen probably with most of those cars.
Yeah. No, the performance of that era, they are definitely moving up. Honda S2000s are getting ungodly expensive.
Yeah.
I've seen one of those sell for 40.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys used to be in the teens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those things have always been expensive, and now they're just coming back even more.
Right. And it's cyclical, right? You've got these guys coming in that bought that stuff and built that stuff when they were new, coming back into the car world and wanting to recreate stuff from their youth. It's the same thing that happened to the muscle car guys.
I'm just thinking my age guys I went to Wyotech with, 05 or so, 20 years on now. Yeah. That's plenty of time to have the family, get the house. Hey, there's a shop now. And,
Yeah.
oh, well, look at all this space.
Right.
That car I used to have was so cool. Why did I get rid of that
It's
thing?
time to get it back.
I think we need something or something similar.
Well, there's a reason for that. Even back in the day, they were cheaper.
They were incredibly inexpensive, and you could beat them.
And they were
And they keep on
reliable.
But they don't break, yeah.
They were reliable. They were fun. You had parts for them, and you didn't need to tinker with them. You didn't need to be working on them and messing with stuff unless you wanted to.
Right.
And that's that's still the way they are now. They're just more expensive because people have realized that
Right. So
and have money to pay for them.
I think that would be a great option for somebody.
Yeah.
And, the caveat I have with all of this, and I probably should have said this at the beginning, and maybe we did, the idea here is not to steer people away from the old stuff forever, but to get them started in a way that gives them something fun to drive, that stands out, that does what an old car would do without making them pay the price for living with one.
Well, somebody could just dive in the deep end. I'm getting that 65 Impala, and however this works out, okay, we're game. That's a lot left to chance. That's a lot left to the unknown.
Yeah.
So I my first car, I guess, technically was like a 914, but that's well before I could drive. Project car, whatever. Later on, around driving age, license, getting your license, I had a 72 Mini. And it was very much a project. We got it running. It's that little 4-cylinder engine that Leyland put in everything, which that was the easy part. But it needed, some structural repair that all Minis need.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was in that time where I wanted to start driving to school. And it would do it, but it became a little too, am I going to get there? Am I going to get home? And what's the process going to be like in between?
Yeah, and how far did this need to
Mine
travel?
was not no. I think it was I'm a mile from my high school at this point.
A mile and a turn or two?
Maybe one, and then into the parking lot.
The whole premise here is that if you're going to have something like that, you also have to have something that's a real car.
Yeah, and that was the problem. And I still hate it to this day. I hate that I had to sell it. And that's exactly what I ended up doing because I wanted to start driving to school and that just wasn't going to do it. And I didn't want to take my parents' 1-ton truck to park in a high school parking lot. So
would have fit in Wyoming.
it didn't even in the outer skirts of, Oregon out here.
No dually for you, huh?
No, it wasn't a dually, but it was a crew cab long bed. So it was about 20 feet long.
If it had been a dually, would that have been...
I stay away from dualies. I don't want to deal with that. But
Too many tires.
Yeah, I sold the Mini, and I still today wish I had that car because those have gotten more expensive as well. The classic original Minis.
Well, and they're hard to find around here.
They're hard to find. When you see a project one, it's still like $15,000 now, and I'm like, I bought mine for like $3,500. So it's things like that, and that's kind of why we're getting into this. Like, when you're prepared for it, that's the time to do it. Then it becomes a good experience.
Right.
Then you have more ability to walk away from it if it's tied up in a garage and waiting for parts. Then it becomes easier, and you can make decisions you want to make, not the hard decisions where I gotta get rid of this thing. That being said, I didn't really do much better afterwards. I did buy an 89 Jaguar XJS with its original V12 in it.
Nice.
So, I mean, it ran most of the time. I mean...
That's a lot of cylinders. You can lose some cylinders and still be good.
Oh, I did. I lost half of them once. I went out and started it up. It still ran great on 6. It was nice and smooth.
Those others are just spares.
It just
The
revved
E-types
very
run on
slowly.
6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it had apparently what happened, it had a 2-stage rotor in there.
Yeah.
And one of them shorted out, so I was only getting power through one of them, hence half the engine.
Wow.
It still sounded super smooth, but man, did it rev slow. But that was an easy fix.
Well, so you dove in the deep end and you just kept splashing around and swimming.
Yeah, I had that car for a while.
Almost regardless of experience.
But yeah.
Well, some people they're gonna dive in, they're gonna be flailing around, and I'm out, I'm done. And for those folks, you really should have tried the shallow end first.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to direct. If you don't, so all of these become stories and they all become great over time. Yeah. But you got to get through it, and you got to be okay with doing all of that and understand on the other side, this is going to be a great story to tell somebody someday.
To go with that, yeah. For people like you guys who can tinker with the old American stuff, I hate that I keep saying tinker. I hate that word. Anyway.
Fix.
Yeah, they keep working on that stuff. The Jag was not something I would attempt to work on it.
I'm
but
good.
No. I couldn't even change spark plugs on it.
I was like, maintenance is about my ceiling on those.
I thought about changing spark plugs before I sold it. I couldn't even get the caps off of them. They've been there so long, and they're hard to get to. And it would have cost, I think, $2,000 or something to have a shop do it back then.
Not worth it.
Exactly. So, but going back, when I did have problems, it meant it had to go to the shop.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, I got pretty lucky in the fact that it never really needed anything to keep it on the road. But when it did, it was never under $800 to $1,200. So something else to keep in mind when you're buying weird stuff.
So
if you're not going to work on it yourself.
Late 80s XJS.
Yep. About the worst thing you could buy.
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of our 3 factors here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're talking affordability,
Hassle factor.
That's the only one.
those are probably there.
Yeah,
You
no
could
one wants them,
you
so
could,
they're cheap.
You know, under $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Plenty of availability.
even under that.
What was our second one?
Hassle
Hassle.
factor.
Okay, I thought
That's
was
going to be pegged.
So
Yep.
that is
10.
one of the top. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
if it's 0 to 10, we're at a 9 or a 10 on those easy, and it was probably there under warranty.
Right.
And
Cool
then we
factor.
had cool.
Cool factor.
That's pretty low too, but I just wanted to be different, so
I
did
don't
that.
know. I don't know. I think that as far as a new collector car for somebody younger to be driving, man, nothing is going to come close to that.
It's not going to look like it.
You're going to have
No,
3
they're-
times the cylinders as most of your friends.
And you're still going to be slower, which is equally impressive.
So while we're at it here, let's talk about some other cars
Okay.
that I think are probably at the top of some young people's lists
Oh, yeah.
in terms of why they are not a good idea.
Yeah, so let's pop some dream balloons.
Skyline GTR R33,
Oh, the video game crowd's favorite car.
95 to 98 entry level price, or at least average price lately, $62,718.
I've seen some in the 30s.
Do you want to own that one?
No.
So if you talk to guys that are into the JDM scene who are bringing these cars over from Japan, they will cringe at a cheap R33 or R34 because they know where these cars lived was close to salt water. And oftentimes you don't really get a good look at something like this until it arrives here. And, you know, when you're dealing with a car that is a unibody car, not a body on frame, living in a salty place, rust becomes hard to fix, really hard to fix. And
Get it wedged in layers on layers of pressed metal and
cheap for a reason. And 30 grand is not cheap, but
if all these ones up here are selling for 60 grand, and you got this one down here for 30,
there's a reason.
yeah,
And it's not
no,
because
but
you've got a deal, man.
it can be really hard to accept that though at 17 years old.
yeah.
Hence me buying a Jaguar.
Yep.
All right, here's another one for you. You want to be like Dom from the Fast and the Furious.
Always.
Charger, 68 to 70, Dodge Charger. That's second gen. Everybody loves those cars, right?
Oh, Coke bottle.
Well, everybody likes to pay for them too. Average price, $74,000.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I found.
Can I be Dom with hair?
Not well, unless you got $74,000 to spend.
No, I don't want to.
Then no.
I'll just have the hair. Not the
Do you live your life a quarter mile at a time?
No.
No.
Then no.
Then no, it doesn't work
You're
that
not Dom.
All right. I'll just enjoy my hair.
63
Hey.
63 to 64 Chevy Impala. Let's say you want to
Oh, yeah.
hit the three-wheel motion going around a corner, or you just really like the 6.4. Mm-hmm. 48,565.
Yeah, no, those are going to be a factor above our generations.
I just recently had access to one of those cars. A friend of mine who actually just passed away, but he was trying to give it to me. It was a two-door hardtop 64 Impala. Needed a whole floor pan, front to back. And it wasn't worth it at free. Wow. Because of the amount of work it was going to require to put it right.
Yeah, you're still underwater at free.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure somebody gave him $500 for it because it had a title. Mm-hmm. But man, it needed everything. And, you know, it was probably worth $800 to the right guy. Not to me, though.
So I have not experienced one of those, but family ties to them. My uncle had a 64 convertible from high school in his garage up to the day he passed. It was a car he used in high school, got into an accident, put it in his garage, spent the next 30 years going to get to it, accumulating truckloads and truckloads of parts by the time he passed away. Mm-hmm. My brother ended up buying it, and he had done some work on it too. It was pretty well finished by that point, and I would love to have bought it at 50 grand plus whatever it was going to be. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't at that point either. They sold it, my brother and his wife, for one of the reasons we talked about, and that was feeling comfortable as far as safety and reliability and that kind of thing. They were in a bad accident in a modern car, I think it was a GMC 1500 Denali, totaled the truck. If they had been in, and that was with, of course, modern features.
Oh, yeah, collapsible frames and steering columns.
If they had been in that thing with the bad, the less than stellar brakes.
With the X frame.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very cool, but there's that caveat. And it still goes even when you're past 17. Sometimes it's a little easier to accept that that's maybe not the best fit. But these things are always at play, I guess.
Oh, yeah. No, always things to consider. And
Here-
it's up to you to figure out where your priorities
You got to
lie.
wait out.
Yeah. I got two more options for you that I think are better than any of the ones I just listed.
Yeah, okay.
The first one, Subaru BRZ,
I was hoping you'd go down this route.
2012 to 2024.
Those, yeah.
We have a friend who just sold his.
Yeah.
And he bought it new in 2020, I think, 2021. Average price on those right now is $20,000. And for what you get, small, stick shift, really fun, very, very tight handling little cars. Lots of stuff you can do with them. They stand out. They get great mileage. They don't really break.
No, it's the Toyobaru.
Exactly.
So it's the meshing between Toyota and Subaru, and especially from that time period, they were always up there with the JD Power and Associates longevity and
there's a long
lack of working on crap.
There's a long production of them too. I mean, they're still making them now, but I mean, what 2012? I mean, we're past, I was gonna say we're well past 10 years now of producing that car.
I think that everybody's gonna say in the comments on this video, "Well, Miata's the answer. Miata's the answer." No, BRZ is the answer.
The BRZ is the updated Miata.
Updated coupe version too. If you don't want the
drop top.
There's a lot of Miatas out there, but Miatas are already so focused on.
Along these lines, I had the tech for my HVAC system. He was coming in checking the AC stuff a couple months ago. We got to talk about car stuff. He saw the Impala, and he is a Miata guy, and he was lamenting how back in the day, I mean, this guy wasn't even 30 yet,
Right.
So I was like, yeah, okay, back in the, I mean, 10 years ago, sure. He was commenting on the cheap entry for Miatas. You could throw a stone and pick one up for $2,000, $5,000. Boy, if you were paying $8,000 for one of those, that had better been a nice one, or, done up.
Yeah, right.
Because low mileage was never a consideration. Not when at that level looking at it, like I don't.
Not
care
for
what
one of those cars. It didn't need to be.
It didn't matter almost.
Yeah, right.
I mean, along the lines of some of the modern LS engines, the mileage is sort of
Yeah.
Up to a certain point.
Right.
Once you look at 300, 400,000 miles, it's like, okay, maybe this one does need a rebuild
Yeah.
before we do something.
Bearings and rings, you're good to go.
God, if it only went farther than 400,000 miles. What a waste.
It's just getting broken in. Come on, guys.
But it just being a sort of bulletproof thing along those lines, just use it, just have fun. But as he was looking now, because he is a professional earning a decent wage, he's like, yeah, no, the ones I was looking at that were $5,000, they're $15,000 now.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
And I mean, now that I'm at a point to be doing stuff with them, I don't want to spend that money.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking the original, the NA ones, I mean, that was like the perfected British Roadster.
Right.
And they have evolved into something a little different, much more sporty than they were originally. And driving what I've driven, that BRZ is just wonderful.
Say you're a Porsche guy, you want to have a Porsche, or you're a 240Z guy and you want to have a 240Z, but you don't have the money for either of those cars because the market has woken up to them. BRZ is a great way to get your feet wet.
Yeah, there's no good starter Porsche, let me tell you.
No, there is not. But
I looked at plenty of 944.
if you want to have fun in something that's not going to it's not going to beat you to death in terms of nickel and dime issues,
Right.
get something like that. It's going to be fine for however long you have it, and you'll have a lot of fun with it while you're driving it, and then you can graduate into that other stuff later on. It's a great way to do it, I think.
Yeah.
So another one, third gen WRX, that's 08 to 2014, $12,799.
Yeah, they made so many of those. They're not, the super distinctive bug eyes.
Right. Good luck finding any bug eye that doesn't have a reconstructed title.
Oh,
They're all like that.
I have looked.
Yeah.
I have been looking for years, and they are all bent, twisted, broken at some point.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Should have got one new.
That's just the way they are. Yep.
And what are those non-driven, even, I mean, at the top end, the Colin McRae kind of edition cars? We've saw those sell at auction for,
crazy.
You would remember it. I mean, were they up by $100,000 or
Yeah.
plus?
Yeah. No, they were six figures.
Yeah. Okay.
Good luck.
No, like the legit racing ones. Yeah. No, they're
Yeah.
six figures.
Yeah. So that's basically my list of cars to consider and cars to avoid. I don't know if you guys have more you want to talk about. I mean, there's things like the 5-liter Mustang. The problem is Gen X is chasing the 5-liter now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's really not going to be, I mean, I know there's a lot of them out there, but we're still fighting that same fight in terms of hassle factor and entry price. And the cool factor's there, but these other things are going to make it a harder experience. So That's why I left those off my list.
No, that's fair. I think just in terms of a general philosophical thought on getting your first collector car, there's two truths you need to accept. Entropy is inevitable. Things will degrade through use and non-use.
Yep.
Time passes no matter what.
Welcome to the universe.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just, things are going to fail as time moves forward. Sometimes, if you're willing to do the work, you can get a cheaper car. If you're willing to do it, if you have the place to do it, if you have the resources to do it, lots of things come into the factor there. But maybe that kind of eases the entry level point cost, but then the hassle factor goes up. But it seems to me that for an easy kind, instead of jumping in the deep end, you go through the shallow end of the pool, and you make your way to the deep end. You know where you're
get
headed.
there. Oh,
you
man.
know where you're headed.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have an easier route, and you hopefully don't drown, or hopefully don't have to be rescued from the whole collecting car experience.
Yeah.
Get something relatively modern. Get something that has a bit of the cool factor that you are going for. Because the cool factor of the mid-60s Impala is way different than your late 90s Subaru.
Yeah.
Way different cool factor. You were going for a different audience there. You're going for a different, seat feel as you're driving around. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
So just keeping in mind where you want to go, why you want to do it, can really guide what it is that you're going to get while you're doing it, and it can make it so much easier. Because just something with fuel injection is, oh my god, just it's heaven compared to carburation.
Yeah. I can tell you from my own experience, when I was a young kid, I was all about the end result. Now that I've gotten older, I'm about the process. And as somebody, when you're young and you want to have that end result, the goal is to have something you can go out and drive and have fun with and be with your friends and do your thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to spend all your time learning and trying to get better at building something or solving problems or whatever. But when you get older, like that's what I do now. It's
the fun part.
Yeah. If your goal is to have something to drive and go have fun, like you were saying, start with something that's newer, have a better time, and get that older car later or when you get a little bit more money, because an old car really shouldn't be your only car.
No.
Because stuff's going to happen.
The thing about collecting is it's above and beyond necessary.
Yeah.
There's a reason car people, collectors, whatever it may be, have a daily kind of car.
Yeah.
And that's because regardless of how much we love it, there's still those days where you get up, you just want to hop in the car, start it.
Just work.
Yeah, you're running
Just
late.
work.
Yeah, you're running late to school or whatever. Running late to work. It doesn't matter. You want to get in there. You want to know your car's going to start. And if you have to drive a ways, you want to know that you're not going to end up like a sweaty mess by the time you get to the office. Like,
You don't want to drive something with open headers to the doctor's office
No.
when you're sick.
No.
You don't.
well, and going back to your part about the process versus the end result, you got to be realistic about getting to that end result. If you're buying a car and it's so easy for us to do, well, if I get it, it's cheaper, or I want it really bad, but it just needs this and this. Be realistic about what it's going to take to get to that end result. Whether you're never going to get to it because your car could never be tied up in the garage,
Yeah.
or the parts are never going to be there, or you're never going to have the time to do it.
Those little trip ups, it needs this and needs that. I mean, those can become chasms.
Yeah.
That
And
just get lost into.
you start there, and then 3 years down the road, you haven't done anything to your car. It's barely on the road anymore. Or it's that project that's been sitting there,
Yeah.
and you were so close to getting to it. It was just going to be this quick, easy thing, and it never happens.
I think you've just pointed out what is going to be the hardest thing for a young car person to do, because being realistic does not work. I still do this. All I see when I look at a project is the final product, how it's going to look in my head when it's done. My wife thinks I'm insane because she sees what's real in front of her.
A pile.
Exactly.
I'm looking at a pile of parts here.
She's seen me do it enough that she doesn't think I'm as crazy as she once did, because I've brought stuff back to life and taken her for rides in it. But when you're a young guy or a young girl and you're just working on learning how to do this stuff, everybody's going to think you're crazy.
Yeah.
And you probably are.
Yes.
I mean, that Jaguar was exactly that for me. I mean, the other option, of course, I'm less into the American stuff. I was, at that point, especially very much leaning into anti-American, non-American stuff, I should say, because my family was so much into that. So my other option was like, I think I was looking at a mid-90s BMW 5 Series. A car like, it's still, a little more finicky, whatever, but solid BMW straight six. They're pretty much bulletproof. Those were the two options. You had the Smart Choice, and then you had the Jaguar. And I couldn't get myself to it. I was like, I couldn't do it to make the Smart Choice.
You could have bought a Camry, man.
No.
A beige Camry.
My grandma bought one of those a few years later, though. She had a purple Camry at the time.
We had a friend who had a Camry back when we worked at the magazine, right? Do you remember Brian Wolf's
Oh yeah. No.
beige Camry?
Oh yeah. No.
95, I think it was.
It was terrible.
He had a spare wheel, but no tire on it.
Yeah. It was the weirdest damn thing.
That car never died. And he tried to kill that car. I mean, he was not being kind to it in the things that he did. But it never left him stranded.
It's very true.
Yeah. Something to be said for that.
That's a good example of low cost of entry, low hassle value, and negative cool factor.
Negative.
But while your buddy with the cool car is maybe stuck somewhere trying to deal with a problem,
You're going to the movies, man.
Over on the side of the road, hood up,
that ugly
steam
Camry
pouring out.
Yeah.
And there's Brian just...
Sure,
See you guys.
sure, you have to park it in the back of the lot.
He gets to go on his date, and we're stuck here on the side of the road.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
park in the back of the lot. You walk a little further so you're not seen maybe as close to it.
Yep.
But you're there.
Just real quick, last week when I was doing the classic car update on the other YouTube channel,
Link in the description below.
link in the description below, I found 3 different Toyotas from the 90s, and I was just really curious. So there's a Celica GT convertible.
Yeah, I remember those.
Because so American Sunroof Corporation chopped those tops.
Great.
How many hundreds of them they did? Oh my god. Anyway, 72,000 miles, and it went for it was 12 grand.
Okay.
Then there was a 99 Tacoma Pre-Runner Extra Cab, 4-cylinder automatic. So
Pre-runner, so not four-wheel drive, but lifted to look like one.
yeah, 219,000 miles, $8,100.
Wow.
Yeah, super cheap.
Yeah.
Considering you get the higher option stuff, you're easy 30 grand now.
Right.
Yeah, those Tacomas have come up.
They've I've been tracking them through this stuff.
Yeah,
and
I mean-
it's regularly you can find a 98 or whatever for 20 grand. It's you add a couple extra options, some fewer miles, and they creep into 30 no problem.
Yep.
Yeah, from early 90s through like mid 2000s. Yeah.
But the last one I found of this wonderful little trio, they all sold like right together on Bring a Trailer. Same day, within a few minutes of each other.
Okay.
98 Camry.
4-door? 2-door or 4-door?
4-door.
Okay.
On Bring a Trailer.
Beige? They're all beige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma's
It was-
was purple.
Purple?
Yeah, she had the dark purple.
Oh, yeah. It's like
No.
a purple beige.
I don't think they did a 2-door for that body style. Did
No, they did.
They did?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
It's not. I mean,
Not
it's,
that it matters.
It's not as cool as you think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't thinking like, damn, sporty.
Well, but this one had 50,000 miles. Actually, it looked perfect.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
It looked perfect, and it was $5,800.
Yeah.
Which honestly strikes me as double what a 98 Camry should be.
Pretty much. I mean, we're all in the same zone here, I think, when it comes to those cars.
But here it is on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
And the Bring a Trailer commentators were going to town on this car.
Because they all thought it was cool.
Some of them really did. Some of them thought this was damn cool for what the hell it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
They're in the minority.
It's a good point, though. I mean, when is the last time you saw one with such few miles on it?
Yeah,
No, it was a damn near time capsule.
that's today's old lady car.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
that's today's, like, square Cadillac
Yeah,
that sat in some carport forever.
my grandma had 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think ultimately what all this kind of leads to is none of this is really new. This is just the next group getting to do the next thing in the same world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the stuff we were looking at when we were 18 or whatever, those are much more expensive now and generally the desirable cars. Okay. So, but you compare that with the people who are 18, 20 years prior to us, they were looking at a completely different setup as well.
Yep.
So it's your turn, and you got to figure it out, just like everybody else did. It's fun.
Yep.
If you're uncool like me, though,
Hey, I'm uncool.
a lot of the stuff I was looking back then is still cheap, still not that great,
But different.
but different. Yeah, I mean,
You're just maxing the hassle factor
if you
all
wanna-
the way.
Oh yeah,
You
I mean,
got
I'm
it
pushing.
pegged.
I'm pushing that field up a little higher.
I think there's, much the way torque and horsepower are tied together. I think the hassle factor and the cool factor are kind of tied together.
They have to be.
The more hassle, the cooler it kind of becomes because what
Because
are you dealing
You're
with?
putting up with the nonsense that most people won't.
Yeah.
To be cool.
Yeah.
That's the defroster on a hot day, right? It's the fact that it leaks water inside every time it rains and you can't see.
Or for me, like in the stuff I'm thinking of, like an E39 straight 6 5 series or the earlier E34, either those 5 series, or you can do like the 3 series of that same kind of mid 90s through early 90s. Stay away from obviously like the M3, M5 version, even though you'd love to have them. I would still love to have an M5 that era. But the V6, straight 6 Mercedes, something like that, it's still some more hassle to it, I would say. Not totally you're not totally locked out of working on it yourself. Some of those, BMW, we had one in the family, the stupid cheap plastic parts wear out, they get brittle, they break. You break them when you're trying to get something else fixed.
Right.
But you can do
Inevitable.
that in your garage.
Yeah.
You can do some of it there.
Right.
And you still get some of, if you're, looking a little more for that German thing. That's where my head was at. So, but some of them aren't very cool now either. You look at a straight 6, not cool.
You're just a slave to the art. And that's where the cool factor comes from. You max the hassle, you max the cool.
It's
Yeah. You've done that.
It's hard work to be different than everybody else. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Last,
It works for Carrot Top.
yeah. Well, it
I
did.
don't like
It really
that.
did.
I don't like that at all.
Well, you don't have to see it as the same as, just it's
Okay,
different
we'll
as.
go with
Yeah, what's a better
No, we keep it carrot top.
Yeah.
One more thing we haven't touched on yet involves paperwork.
uh-huh.
Because there's always paperwork, titling, insurance is
Everybody loves
primarily what I wanted to bring up. Collector car stuff, insurance really isn't optional. It's what's optional is who you go with and the terms of insurance. Other than
Yeah.
that, it's not negotiable. This is something
That's
you're really going to be wanting to be on top of. And the nice thing is collector car insurance is generally cheaper than daily driver insurance in terms of the year-long coverage.
After you're 25.
Okay, fair point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, everything drops at 25. You can rent cars and all that stuff. Oh, are you even qualified to get
That's
insurance?
what I mean. I'm not
Okay.
sure you can.
Oh, well.
At least not classic car insurance until you're a certain age.
Okay.
And so and also in most cases, like with Haggerty or Chubb or some of these other companies, they want to ensure that you have a daily driver
Yeah.
before you can insure your classic car on a classic policy. They don't want you using it every day.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of limits.
Yeah.
These are things to look up and know.
Yeah. Before you dive in and buy something, make sure you can insure it and that it's insurable under you
Yeah.
so that you don't, end up having to flip it right away.
Yeah. Otherwise, maybe there's an arrangement you can make with a parent,
Yeah.
guardian.
I mean, there's always ways around it, but you don't want to have to deal with that if you ever need the insurance.
Right. But this is one part of the hassle factor that is constantly present.
Yeah.
Well, and keep in mind too, if someone 16 years old, even with your parents putting on their insurance, they're going to be looking at that rate. Because you buy the right kind of car, that rate's going to be up for a 16-year-old of man or woman, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be, they want to see you in that Camry.
In fact, a lot of the cars on our list here are going to be right out. Like that would not work as a 16-year-old.
Right. Well, that was a problem in the 60s too. That's one of the things that killed muscle car was insurance rates. It wasn't, it was gasoline too, but people were still going to pay for that. They were going to spend on the gas, but the insurance rates just became astronomical for some of your top level muscle cars, some of your high horsepower stuff.
Right.
That, a lot of folks, certainly of a younger age, just couldn't get.
Yep.
So what we're saying is buy the 2-door Camry in purple beige. 50,000 miles.
Purple and beige. You can do a custom paint job on
That's
that
what we're
thing.
saying, right? Is that what we're saying?
Or
I
an
can't tell.
89 Jag XJS. I mean,
It'll
V12,
run on half the engine.
coupe. Insurance companies aren't looking at that.
Oh no, no. It's like, oh wait, you want us to insure that? Okay.
There's one other thing that
too
we
bad
need to
for you.
bring up.
Oh, yeah.
One other thing we need to consider. And that is the rest of the world is, especially the commuter world, is not going to care about your car if you think it's special. And they're going to run into it. Mm-hmm. So if you get something that goes back to that whole buy something different, buy something that everybody has. If you end up with something different, and a lot of the cars that we've talked about could be considered to be different.
Oh, yeah.
If you get rear-ended by somebody, which is going to happen, or you crash it in a parking lot or whatever, insurance is one problem, but also just finding the parts to fix it is another one.
Yep.
So that's another part to consider when you're looking at this first collector car that you want to get, is if you're actually going to use it, know right out of the gate that you have good insurance and that you can find parts for it when something does inevitably happen, because it will if you're going to use it.
It just will.
And if you're someone like me who is constantly worried about, they want to keep it clean, you want to avoid door dings, that kind of stuff, don't get the car that's going to be your only car that you're going to be too afraid to do anything with it. If you want to use it as a car, you still need to use it as a car, especially if it's your only one. Keep that in mind as someone who is neurotic enough to the point where that's always playing in your head.
Okay, so now that we've been through all this, I'm going to put you guys both on the spot. And I know you're going to love this. You particularly. You have one car that fits all of the needs. What is it going to be?
For this
For this
gentleman?
For say you're the kid, right?
Okay.
Say you're 20 years old and you want a car. You want something classic, cool, turns heads, does all the things, but you only have enough money and space for one. Knowing what we know now, considering that we've all been in the collector car industry for years.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing this since 06.
Yeah, 2010 for me.
What would you buy and why?
I want a Jeep Grand Wagoneer.
I knew you were going to go there.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I want them so bad.
Impossible to stay away from that.
My first collector car was a '67 Camaro. I bought it out of the thrifty nickel. It was still a time you could talk a guy down. Show up with a few $1,000 in your pocket and get the car. But that was just such a god-awful pain. I mean, I was the kid that jumped in the deep end, and I got the thing rolling and moving and running again, but what a hassle of an experience. And I'm thinking if I just would have gone the route of that Grand Wagoneer, things would have been much more smooth sailing because it was newer. Parts, I mean, first-gen Camaro parts, plenty available, not really hard to get a hold of. Thanks, Classic Industries. That's who I used then.
Yeah.
And also kind of seeing where things have the potential to go, because I think that's still a market that's evolving and moving up.
Yeah.
So there would be some built-in inflation, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the value is going to keep on rising, absent, external economic factors. I think I'd have to go with the Grand Wagoneer.
My list, or my choice, one of two. And I realize I'm breaking my rules because I'm going to pick two. Like I said earlier, Camaro SS, 4th gen.
Yeah.
Or a Z28, either one. Get the 6-speed. So either an LT1 or an LS1 with a 6-speed. Have fun. The other choice there, Civic hatch. And the reason I picked a Civic hatch, and it can be any of them.
Yep.
Insurance is not going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's a Honda.
Parts are pretty easy to find.
It's a Honda.
Aftermarket parts to go fast are pretty fun, and there's a lot of them out there. And there's a lot you can do with those cars. They don't break. So those would be my two. One of those.
I would say I was thinking SI possibly too, or the Civic hatch.
Yeah.
Having seen that one just a few months ago, at the time back when I was 16, 17, I would have turned away from it immediately, just because I was very much, I'm not gonna drive the Fast and the Furious car at that point in my life when Fast and the Furious was definitely fresh, as was what was the Tokyo Drift and that kind of stuff. anyway. But looking back now, man, does that look? It still looks like some fun.
So what you're saying is you're not going to go with the green neon and the blacked out Civic.
No,
They weren't hatches though. Those were
Oh
just
God, the neon.
coupes.
You remember when we were at Russo and Steel?
I know what you're going to bring up.
And
we should have bought that car.
We should have. Jim and I are sitting at Russo and Steel in Scottsdale.
Had to have been like, what, 2011, 2012?
Yeah,
something like that.
2012 is the year in my mind.
Yeah.
But we could look it up. And we're sitting there and we're watching people trip over this asphalt dip.
They paved part of their
They
part
paved
part of it.
Part of the parking lot, and about 10 feet away from where our booth was, it dropped off into the dirt. And it was, that 1.5-inch lip. We counted. We were counting.
We had a tally mark going.
just falling. It was.
We tried to warn them, but they weren't listening.
No. But we're sitting there. The auction's going on. We're looking at the run list, and suddenly there's this orange Acura.
Red and yellow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, red and yellow is orange.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
just blurring it in my mind.
It was Ja Rule's
It was
car.
Ja Rule's car
From the first movie.
From the first movie, the one he's sitting in the car going, "No, Monica," was on Russo and Steele's block.
And it sold for like $12,000. It was cheap.
It was stupid cheap.
Even back then, we knew that all of the cars from that series, regardless of what small of a role they played, were going to be worth money.
Yeah,
because they were still making the movies, and that
It's
era
a
had
movie
passed.
car.
But yeah,
it's a movie car, and movie cars always have some level of cachet that non-movie cars cannot replicate.
I don't know if you remember this or not. So it was Monterey, Mika Monterey, and it would have been around the same era. They had the Hero 68 Charger from the first movie, and it was the one that was actually supercharged. It had the big Hemi in it, and it was surging badly. I remember at idle, it would just, and it was on grass, and so it was spinning its tires on grass every time, right? And it sold for not a lot of money either.
What would it do now?
Don't even want to know.
That Ja Rule car, that's the first thing you do is put a button and speaker thing in there with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Last bit I would add to anybody who's interested in getting into collector cars is don't care what other people are going to say or think too much.
Yeah.
There's going to be some people who are going to have some good ideas, and that may involve some restraint, but their goal is to help you. Figure out who those people are and trust them. There are other people that are just going to be looking to rain on your damn parade.
Yes.
Figure out who those people are and don't listen to them. It's once you get a feel for it, you know who's going to tell you what.
All right, Chad, you want to take us out?
Nope, still no.
One of these days, man.
Sometime. Well, that is it for this issue or edition of the Auto Shift. I'm Chad Allen Tyson. That's Jim Pickering. That's Chad Taylor. We'll catch you guys next time.